I was a commissar of the Imperial Guard. My job was to maintain morale of the troops, either via executions of deserters or giving speeches and litanies. I woke up in the middle of the night on a former battlefield after I was knocked out by a mysterious force. All three moons were shining. Behind me lay the city, one that was under siege. I grabbed my commissar cap, chainsword, and bolt pistol, and went looking for survivors on the battlefield. All around me were corpses of dead guardsmen, all of them of the same regiment I was assigned to maintain and command. With them lay the destroyed hulls of Lehman Mustangs, and what seemed to be an entire squad of space marines. I was left speechless, didn't know what happened, as if I didn't even remember the enemy. Then I noticed it, an alien corpse, Necron soldier, bearing a sign I remembered vividly and hated it similarly. I then noticed a movement which led to one of the more torn out tanks. I came closer, with my blade ready to strike in the name of the Emperor, but instead of Necrons, there were children, human children. I don't know how, but I knew them. They were of the city nearby, two girls, one 8 years old, the other 6. As I noticed them, they told me they were looking for their father, to which I said, "I'll find him, but you shouldn't be here. In fact, it's dangerous." Just as I said it, a green light came from a hill behind me. I turned around, and there came a Lehman Mustang, being possessed by the living metal of Necrons, the same that makes their bodies, and used by a singular being, Lord Azrak of the Azaru dynasty. As he came with the tank, he noticed me, started taunting me, for he knew me very well. He called me a weakling flashback, who couldn't even manage to save all those other flashbacks around me. As soon as he was done, I tried taking a shot at his face, but one of the machine guns at the possessed tank fired towards my pistol and shot it off my hand. He then left the tank, undoing the possession done to it, with the words,
"How about I give you some proper due before I take your life, as well as the lives of those trooplings your vile species calls children."
Determined to protect the two girls, as well as to carry out the sacred duty given to me, I railed up my chainsaw and went for his head. He, unfortunately for me, dodged. Didn't block, just used his large stab to jump over my head, and after he landed, turned around in a mocking gesture. I took a swing, and he blocked this time, by his own hand. The blades of my chainsaw were cutting through his hand, but as a Necron, no matter what damage I did to it, the ever-regenerating metal healed his wounds back. He then proceeded to hit me with his other hand, and then claimed,
"You, Commissar, are the funniest of all these Imperial troopers. You know why? Because unlike them, you are told to ignore your instincts and die for the cause of an emperor your species worships. And unlike those space marines of your primitive and dying civilization, you aren't even capable of killing me."
I did a roll, almost losing my hat, and then tried to stab him, to which he just turned around the blade, like a dance move, and as soon as I tried to go from a stab to swing, he ducked to avoid the blade of mine and kicked me in the stomach. No matter how many times I tried, his inhuman speed, his unnatural instincts were preventing me from even being able to hit him. And the only thing that prevented him from killing me with ease was the fact he knew all of this. As the battle was carrying on, he got bored, so he tripped me over with his weapon, and then, as I lay down, he grabbed his large axe and proceeded to cut off my right arm. As I screamed in agony, the two girls hugged each other in fear, with the younger one screaming. The Necron Lord shouted,
"I am King Azrak of the Azaru dynasty, The one to finally end up filtering life. You human.
said as he looked at me.
You are given the privilege to see how your species will die. That's why, in my royal grace, I am sparing your life just for this moment.
As he went to approach the two girls, I prayed, O God Emperor, my undying Lord, Savior of mankind, I beg you, give me strength to end this vile abomination in your name. I stood up, still with my commissar cap on my head, and grabbed the sword with my left hand. I charged up and hit him from the back, separating one of his four hands that fell far enough it couldn't reconnect back. Angered, Azrak turned around, tried to take a swing, but I dodged, and finally hit his chest, separating his body from his legs. As both of them fell, the legs immediately reconnected with the Necron's body, leaving only a large scar in place. Terrified, he ran and jumped back to the tank, and once again possessed it. This time, he was terrified. Although his face remained the same, he was talking in an angered, panicked tone, shouting out delicate profanities, how humans are blood, as well as all life in the galaxy, and that he shall not be humiliated by such. He then proceeded to aim the tank's cannon back at me. As the three moons shined over his head, I accepted my fate. Armless, with bloodied uniform, I prepared for my death. Then, a miracle came when the tank was shot, Azrak forced to abandon the hull, immediately being shot by guardsmen, and right afterwards attacked by a space marine. He realized his forces are being defeated, and ran away, turning invisible and escaping, probably and unfortunately, never to be seen again. The last thing I remember was the two girls coming out to try and help the dying Commissar get to a medic, with no avail, as I was losing too much blood to be saved. Funny, I was given enough strength to defeat the monster in front of me, but not enough to survive such a deed.